Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens Cross-Play Podcast. I am one of your hosts, returning in all of my glory. I'm Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, well, maybe not always, but you know what? We're back. The original,
most of the time.
The original duo is back in action here for crossplay. It's Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
Stephen, it is a great goddamn day. Great day at work. Feeling in my thumb tip is almost restored.
Oh, yeah, it's been weeks.
Right. It feels like a Nintendo blister at this point.
Interesting. Okay.
So not horrible, slight pain, but it is coming back after I almost hacked it off a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we need to wear a cutting glove.
It does not be around sharp objects or not cook.
That too.
I shouldn't be watching cooking shows and think I can do that in my kitchen.
Yeah, most of those
Just
people
buy
have
a bunch
training.
of shit. They do, yeah. But then they do it also on the show. They cut themselves often.
Sure. They're also under a lot of pressure.
I need to get cut gloves. That's what I need.
Yes.
Just so I can keep rolling with the punches.
Have you ever studied a cutting glove and saw what it really was?
No.
It's so cool.
Is it a bunch of spider webs sewn together?
No, it's basically chainmail, but really, really, really tiny.
See, now I want it.
And woven really
that's
tightly. It's like steel
pitch.
wool chainmail glove. That's what it is. Really.
Can I get a cut glove shirt? Do they make it other apparel? Or is it just gloves?
I'm sure we could find it somewhere, but it won't. I don't think it would stop the kind of force that you think it will.
A cut neckerchief or a cut,
They're not comfortable, Andy. they're not comfy to wear. I must let you know. I mean, neither was chainmail.
True,
but I digress.
It got the job done.
Yes, it did get the job done. You know what else gets the job done? Us,
we do.
When we do this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast, the internet's #1 gaming news podcast, hosted by people you've never heard of, and the show that you've never listened to, probably. The show posts each and every week for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our home, podbean.com. And of course, you can watch the video recording live as it happens on twitch.tv/Dual Screens Streams. But 24 hours later, we throw it up on YouTube so we don't destroy our affiliate agreement with Twitch at youtube.com/DualScreensTV. So boom shakalaka, because the shaka goes boom. And that's all I got to say about that.
Shaka goes alaka.
All of our things aren't working again, so I wonder how Corey broke that last time, because I fixed it. I promise you, I fixed all those bots. If you're watching this live or you're watching on YouTube, I need to know. It was turned off. It was not on, and I turned it on.
I really would like to know. I need a written explanation.
Here's what I think happens. Here's my theory before we get into the show. And don't worry, we will. The show will happen.
I'm just going to blame all of Canada.
Here's what I think happens.
Happening.
When somebody else logs into our profile, it goes into some form of default settings that we don't know which one of those settings actually goes default. So, excuse me, I think that's what's going on. I think a couple of settings to just default, and I just happen to find some of them, and some of them I don't. So this is another one. Just remind me next week to check the bot.
Yeah.
So that we can do that. Tests. But you know what else we need to check, Andy? We need to check our listeners and say, hey, listeners, do you want to support us with your hard-earned money? Because let me tell you a story. Your $1, your $3, your $5, your $10, or your $50 support on patreon.com/NDS podcast is the reason why Andy and I are able to go to PAX East. It's the reason why we are able to have other members of our team join us. It is the reason why I am actually able to go there comfortably this year instead of riding a 5-hour bus. It is because of you. So I want to thank you from the very bottom of my heart. And if you want to support us, we do a bunch of bonus content. And by that, I mean we're supposed to. And by that, I mean we owe a lot. But we are sure going to put a lot of them up there. That much I could promise you.
I love how we chose the least busiest PAX to bring an entire entourage with us for the first time.
But this builds a rapport with
it
PAX.
does.
You
it
understand?
Does. It's setting some framework for years to come.
Right.
But I find it hilarious how it's like
correct.
We have compared to 2 years ago, we have a very loose schedule.
Loose.
So loose schedule.
Funny. Talking to P. Wesley in our chat, asked, "Did the budget include a second bed this time?" Funny enough, no, it doesn't.
It did not.
It did not.
It has the couch though, which acts as a second bed, so it's definitely an upgrade from last
Andy is really against two beds. Just does not want me and him to have the opportunity.
I want
to have separate areas of sleeping.
I just want a chance to like lean over and snuggle Steven at like in the
It's impossible. Of the night. It's impossible for you to snug me. It's impossible because of the demons that climb in your throat at night. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to get into our show.
Of my demons climbing your throat at night.
I want to thank our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler and FNH Paul. They are just a godsend for us and truly help us do all of this awesome content. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's get into the adventures in gaming. Gaming. Now, Andy.
Yes.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like really good. I know you don't say yeah, you're not playing it.
Yeah, I've seen.
You've seen.
I've heard. It's one of those things where I'm getting a little FOMO watching others play it and talk about it.
Are you a Borderlands guy?
I am. Okay. I didn't play that moon one. What was the prequel Borderlands?
Oh yeah,
one? They were on the moon.
I didn't play that one either.
But love Borderlands 1. Fell hard in love with Borderlands 2. And, yeah.
Borderlands 3 wasn't great. I wasn't a huge fan. Borderlands 2 I think is the pinnacle, but I think this beats Borderlands 2 for me. This just has such a really cool overworld design and marries the D&D parts of it and the fantasy parts of it really well. It's still Borderlands. It still plays like it. The loot, the shooting, the powers, all of that stuff. You could create a character from scratch at this point now, so you can make a character look and feel and sound however you want. Colors, you're unlocking costumes constantly, modifications constantly. You can multi-class, so you get to combine 2 of the 5 classes, and then there's like these I forget what they're called. I think they're called mythic classes, which you could do later. I didn't unlock that yet. I'm still about probably about 15 hours in. I haven't really gone too crazy. I'm level like 17 or something like that. At level 40 you unlock the mythic classes. So yeah, so it's the overworld. I don't know if you saw that part, but it kind of feels like a board game but you can like just walk around however you want on this little, you look like a little bobblehead and you walk around and you can find loot there. You can unlock parts of the map there. You can get into random battles, random encounters, which will teleport you to like a little arena where you can kill some bad guys for some loot, some treasure. You could seek those out. You could not. There's little settlements that you can go into and clear for extra loot and extra experience. There's always something to do. My only real complaints with the game right now are the online is still bunk. It still doesn't work half the time. You have to shut your game, turn it back on, then you'll appear online so you can invite your friends. Crossplay does work when it finally does work. And it's fun. It's fun to play with your friends, and it's a really, really good. It's probably the best Borderlands game if I'm being honest, because right now I understand that it's a full game. You're not getting a DLC experience. You're getting a full story here. Really beautifully written and acted, like super, super fun. It's funny and it's not cringe, where Borderlands 3 was very cringy with a lot of its humor. It just fell very flat. This is just very nerdy, very funny. It's goofy, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's everything you want in a Borderlands video game, and I kind of wish this was just what they did from now on.
Okay,
what about you?
Any other highlights?
You know Elden Ring, man.
So
Andy, I love Elden Ring. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. So I have since rolled credits on Elden Ring since we last spoke. But I'm still playing it because I did not become an Elden Lord, which is the whole point of the game. Went a different route with my decision making.
Interesting. So you're an Elden Devil?
If you listen to our Patreon exclusive bonus episode of Elden Ring, you'll find out what that's all about. But yeah, still playing that. I started playing Final Fantasy Origins a Strangers in Paradise. Oh my god.
Oh.
This is it is so goddamn good, Steven.
Oh.
Like I wasn't prepared. Like I knew I was going into a meme game with all the chaos bullshit.
Sure.
And like the fucking main character listening to Linkin Park as he walks away from a conversation. It's like the main character doesn't have time for cutscenes and dialogue. Like
who does, honestly?
He'll skip it for you. He's just so like disinterested in what's going on around him. So I knew going in that was a big part of it, but the actual gameplay is so slick and so addictive. It's like the best parts of Neo with the Final Fantasy slather coating all over it. And it's so much fun. And I'm hooked. I'm like hooked on it. There's like all these job classes and like abilities and the way you can change on the fly jobs and do combos into them. It's really, really fun.
That's interesting.
And coming off of Elden Ring, like a very precise like experience where you have to like look at patterns and buy your time. It's all about tempo and the dance of you and the boss.
Sure.
This is like the opposite. I'm just going in hacky slash.
Oh, okay.
And I still look goddamn good doing it.
Interesting. Okay.
You're right. So I'm playing
kind of like a Devil May Cry where just everything looks beautiful when you're in there just slapping things and then you die. And you're like, okay, all right, I guess I'll do that again.
The story isn't worth a shit, but who cares? I'm out there for the story.
Sure. All right, P. Wesley in the chat wants to know how the multiplayer is. Can you go into that? Have you done any of that?
I have not.
Interesting.
I think any of my friends have this game. Or I try multiplayer. No, I haven't. I've done only single player in this game.
Only single player.
It has a multiplayer? Oh, that's right. There's other party members. All right, I'll give it a shot. I am playing on Xbox though, Series X.
Ooh.
Which I've also acquired since our last conversation.
Well, that's excellent news. That is excellent news.
Yeah, it was actually a freebie from a coworker who was
a nice
like
little present.
Yeah, he got it like after pandemic-y times, and like it was just in the office. It was shipped to the office by mistake.
Oh.
And it sat there like in the mailroom for like God knows how long, for like the better part of a year. And he's like, "Yeah, I've gotten a PS5 since." So I was like,
"That's fair.
I'll take it from you." He's like, "Yeah, just take it. You're good people."
Wow.
You always take care of me.
Speaking of good people, Andy, let's get into the indie game watch because,
dude,
we got some good stuff here. We got some good things
we have former friend of the show and hopefully fingers crossed future guest of the show.
If we didn't ruin that relationship yet.
Future friend.
Here's hoping.
All right. So our good friends at Heart Machine released a teaser trailer for Hyper Light Breaker, which is a game set in the Hyper Light universe. That's a thing now that exists.
Hyper Light universe.
So first reaction, yes, I love this franchise. I want to see more of it. But then there was a twist.
What the twist?
Little twist. Which was we've grown up from pixels to polygons, from 2D to 3D.
Correct.
And I wasn't ready for it.
Nobody is.
I was not ready for that transition.
Nobody ever is, Andy.
And I was very taken aback because it sent me back to a time in my life when, because we grew up on NES, SNES, Genesis, like pixel art games in our childhood, and we watched the evolution of like going from flat 2D pixel art to like 3D models and polygons.
And it did not look good. It was not
right.
It was rough for about 4 years.
Yeah. And now we're seeing indie games who are going through the same evolution, which is so mind-blowing. Yeah. Because I was like, how do I feel about that? And I was like, wait, it looks good. It looks really good. I'm kind of here for all this. And yes, evolve, grow, mature, do bigger things. Don't keep it simple. So yeah, I was like so excited. Plus also multiplayer. Co-op.
Yeah.
Which, okay, great.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah. And apparently they're like Insomniac now. They're a multi-game studio, Heart Machine. So they're doing it. Right off Solar Ash.
Do the thing, man.
And this game is going to return to their early access sort of format where like
interesting. Okay.
The game is made alongside with the fans.
Interesting.
So
we'll see.
It should be cool.
That phrase means nothing anymore. Early access, like it means demo, it means beta, it means alpha, it means you're a developer. Like everyone,
It's like,
I mean? It's a blanket statement for it's not done and what we want.
In this case, I hearken it to what Hades did. How it was like on the Epic Store. Here's like the preview, early access version. And we'll develop for like another year or two to make it better as we go along.
Interesting.
So this feels like that same kind of ethos I'm getting.
Yes.
From this. Yeah. And next, Steven. Oh my God.
I still can't believe this is real. Like, I'm not like super excited about it. Like, it's not my thing, but like I'm excited for the people who are excited about it.
So you're excited for me, is what you're saying?
Basically.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
After how many goddamn years we are getting a brand new Monkey Island game penned and made by the OG himself, Ron Gilbert. And the amazing thing with this, first, let's set aside, we'll put a pin in the actual revelation of the announcement itself, was how we got this announcement. Okay.
Yeah.
On April Fool's Day. Now, for those of you who follow Ron's blog, it was a problem. He hates April Fool's Day. He thinks it's a dumb tradition to like blurt out like, oh, we're doing, what was that one I saw in the Discord that Nuff threw up? It was like PlayStation acquired like Olive Garden or some shit like that.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah,
that was one.
So I was like, so like he doesn't like that kind of bullshit. He's kind of over it. So on April Fool's, he put up a post that said, for 18 years, the Grumpy Gamer blog has been April Fool's Day free because it's a stupid tradition. So to mix things up a little bit, I'm taking this opportunity to announce I decided to make another Monkey Island. So it was like, what are you saying? Are you saying you're doing an April Fool's joke and you're not making a game? Or you're just announcing a game to mix things up on April Fool's Day?
Yes.
Yes.
Continue.
So it was like, this could be a really solid gag or an incredible gag. And fortunately, it leaned towards the super gag, and we're getting it.
Yeah.
We're getting a full-blown, it's a sequel to Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, because I think Ron stepped away after the first two games. He was like, okay, I'm done. You do it now. Working with LucasArts and Devolver Digital.
It's a good combo. Well,
I know.
Yeah, it's a good combo.
Friends of the show. But through, by association.
Osmosis.
Yeah. So it's here. It's real. I really want people to do more of this, to announce shit that's real.
Oh, okay.
This is almost as good as when Yakuza 7 was like, oh, it's turn-based, guys. Haha. That's not real. And then it fucking was real. I want to see more of this from developers. Like, go way out there, like do a fucking Elden Ring fighting game, Namco. And then be like a year from now, yeah, it's real. Here it is. Boom. Boom, done, finished.
Yeah.
But yes,
I'm down for that.
Very excited.
Let's get into the nitty gritty here. Let's get into the meat and bones, because we do have some news that we should definitely be talking about.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the big one. The much rumored, beleaguered reveal of the all new PlayStation Plus was finally revealed. It will be launching in June. Not that far away, but still far away. So they're going to be calling. There's going to be 3 tiers, which is something that was rumored for a long time. Price was the thing that we were all very speculative about. However, we know what the pricing tiers are, and we know what's included at this point. There are some things that we don't know, maybe have come out since then, but I honestly haven't been following it since this was announced. So maybe you could clarify a couple of those things. But the first tier is the PlayStation Plus Essentials. They're merging Plus and they're merging Now in some fashion, but the Essential is basically just PlayStation Plus.
Mhm.
That is your $10 a month or $60 a year or $24.99 quarterly. That is going to that you plus. That's all you're getting is plus, which is fine. Whatever, it is what it is. Then there's Plus Extra, which is $15 a month, so it's $5 more expensive. Quarterly is $40 and yearly is $100. This is going to give you all of the previous stuff, which is your cloud storage, your discounts, your multiplayer access, your downloadable games that you get every month for Plus. But you're also going to be getting a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios catalogs and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. So these are 400 games that you'll be able to download to your hard drive and play natively on your system. Now, note, they said PS4 and PS5 games. Okay? If you want the Plus Premium, this is where things get a little weird. Okay? This is $18 a month, so it's another $3 a month, or $120 a year, so it's an extra $20 a year, so $120 or $50 quarterly, which makes no sense. Don't ever do that. This gives you all the previous benefits as I just mentioned, but this also adds over about 340 additional games that include PS3 games that you can cloud stream, so basically PS Now. And PS1, PS2, and PSP games to stream to your console. They're in PS4. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm not reading anything. Okay. There's also, you can also stream these games on your PC. So you don't necessarily need to have a PlayStation 5. Which I assume, PlayStation 5. You don't have to have a PlayStation 5 to enjoy these benefits of playing the older games. You will if you want to play PS4 and PS5 games. But if you want to play the old games, you could do so streaming directly to your PlayStation app on your PC.
Correct.
There's also a PlayStation Plus Deluxe for select markets. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I did see this. Yeah, doesn't really apply to us, but it does exist.
But they are looking at the places that can't cloud game.
Right.
PlayStation Plus Deluxe will be offered at a lower price compared to Premium and includes a catalog of beloved classic games from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations that you can download and play. So they will have a form of emulation built into the PS5 at some point to allow people to play those older classic games natively through emulation on their PlayStation. So there you have that. What are your thoughts?
So initial thoughts is this is exactly what I wanted it to be. A marriage of PS Plus and PS Now. Because PS Now, I always felt was lacking in just the incentive to subscribe to it. I wasn't big into the cloud PS3 streaming because it was always hit or miss, always very janky. So I was like, this isn't worth really playing or paying a monthly fee for or an annual fee for. But now that it's combined with Plus, it's way more alluring. Plus the retro game factor, and I feel like this is a winning package. It isn't a Game Pass competitor, but I think it's going to do quite well.
Now, one of the things that could make it a Game Pass competitor is something they did say, and that's first-party games. They did say that there will be God of War, there will be Horizon, there will be...
I saw Returnal on there. I saw they said Mortal
Days
Kombat
Gone,
11 was on there as a really strange shout out to a third-party. Hey, MK11.
Yeah.
Got singled out for some reason.
Now, MK11's part of the Instant Collection as well.
Is it? On the PS Plus collection? I don't think so, dude.
I think so. Maybe it was 10. Maybe it was 10.
10 is on there.
Yeah.
10 is on there. Because that ranked low on
so
our
they
list.
I'm just saying they have their relationship there, so that doesn't really shock me. But it goes to show that they are willing to let go of that argument, that they're no longer dying on that hill. We'll see what happens with their first party games maybe next year. I assume that they're not going to plan on releasing their big late summer, fall, winter catalog games day one and date on this service. They have not confirmed nor denied that last I looked. They were directly asked, and that was when they gave the response, well, God of War will be there, blah, blah, blah.
Well, they did, just to that, they did say, I think Jim Ryan clarified that the idea of a day and date release on the service doesn't make sense for them at all. They know what their audience likes. They know what their audience is used to. The current model works for PlayStation is our big budget AAA games must exist outside this because they need the sales to fund other games, and to just give them away whole cloth day one on a service will reduce the quality of future entries. So that was his main argument, which I sort of get. They're not Daddy Warbucks. They can't just fund a platform and studios like their competition can. So they got to be a little more economical with this whole thing. So I feel launching this with key first party games and then maybe staggered releases, like maybe a year, 2 years out, you throw up like, Forbidden West comes on there, Ratchet and Clank is in there, some of these like third party deals like Forspoken ends up there at some point.
Just
maybe
think
that
about
goes on there once it goes multi-platform. Right, exactly.
Yeah, like when you would normally give away a Death Stranding or whatever on Plus, instead you would just add it to the service indefinitely.
Right. Like I would totally release Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo on this the day they launch on Game Pass.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, hey, upgrade your tier, whatever. And you could get that. You don't have to pay $20 a month or whatever it is, $18 a month to them over there, and that's I think it's like $21.
Right. But the big thing for me, I don't care about the PS1, like the PS1, the first party studio crap. I don't care about the PS3 stuff that much. I want to see what the PS1, PS2, PSP emulation looks like, because if it resembles what Nintendo does right now, I am going to poo-poo all over this service because my phone can run PS1 games in 4K, 60 FPS. And if Sony can't finagle that on a PS5 somehow, after all this time to work it out, I don't know. I'll be at a loss for words, dude. I'll be like flabbergasted.
Yeah, reals. I don't really know what their plan is. I don't know if they want them to live on in their original integrity. I don't know what their philosophy is on that.
Offer both. You can do like filters, here's like the OG resolution ratio,
that requires work.
Right. Or here's like the upscale version.
Unless the emulator just does it for you.
Well, yeah, because like my phone does that too. My phone can do both ways. My phone goes both ways. Look at that.
Wow.
So yeah, I just I feel like you can't, if you're gonna make that the cornerstone like item in the premium version, it has to look good. It has to be like,
it's got to look good. It's got to run well. Yeah. Indeed. Breath of the Wild 2 doesn't look good. It's been delayed.
Why?
No, it's just been delayed. If you thought this game was coming out this year, I got, man, do I have some snake oil to sell you?
I mean, you did, because you picked it for my fantasy roster.
No.
Unless you fucked me with that choice.
Uh-huh.
On purpose, like a douche.
You're damn right I did. No, I gave you what was next on the list of.
Right. You're like, cool, this is definitely going to come out this year.
Yeah.
So that bit of saltiness aside, yeah, it's expected. We barely saw the game as it is, and I feel like it was in the cards, this delay. We're not sure when next year. We weren't even sure when this year. So Who knows what's going to
Spring
come out?
2023.
Right.
That's what they told us.
It's just vague enough to push back into the fall. But I think the key question here is, Steven, is...
Oh, boy. Here we go. I know where this is going.
You know where it's going.
Oh, yeah.
You know exactly where I'm going.
Oh, yeah. Zelda tradition.
Do you think this is setting up a Switch successor somewhat? Like, let's push back our biggest franchise, Zelda, brand new sequel to like a multi-million-dollar selling, initial game. And we're going to sell that alongside the Switch 2, the Switch 4K Pro, the Switch Deus Ex Machina, Switch 2 Boogaloo.
We will know the answer to this by June, but
yeah,
I will say this. I would be shocked 0% if this game runs like doo-doo on the current hardware and they come out with a newer hardware that runs it better. They do this with Zelda. It's what they like to do. They love to do this with Zelda. They even did it, Andy, for your 3DS.
They did. I left that one out, didn't I?
They even did it
when we were talking about
that Hyrule Warriors crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't play it on the old 3DS.
You really couldn't.
You needed the new one. So they know what they're doing. They know what's going to sell a new thing that they know we don't need.
They need to have that, that really good incentive. Like, listen, you can have the new hotness on the new
drug
hotness.
Dealers.
Yeah.
They really are drug dealers. Like,
God.
Like Xbox and PlayStation, legit. Like, we will fight each other about how this one's not doing enough to convince you to justify your purchase. This, that. But if Nintendo says we're coming out with a Switch 1.2, people are like, fucking give me it. Does it have better Joy-Con? Does the button click better?
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't care. If they put something out, people buy it. And they know that if they throw Zelda on there and say it runs 20% better, 25% better, they're going to get another million in sales. It's just what they're going to do. And that's okay. We all love Nintendo. I love Nintendo. Andy loves Nintendo. I am over Zelda at this point. I don't care anymore. I'm done with Zelda. I am officially graduating to only giving a fuck about Metroid and Pokemon. I'm done with everything else.
That's no Kirby, no Mario.
Don't care.
Oh, by the way, that was also on my playlist.
Yeah, I know you played Kirby, and you probably beat it, and
Kirby's
it was
amazing.
really cute.
Kirby's fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, it looks great. I don't fucking care. I don't want to play it. Animal Crossing is great. Yeah, Animal Crossing is great, but like, I don't need a new one ever again.
Just play that one.
This one's good.
Yeah.
Till the end of time. Like, but I want another Pokemon RC or Legends game. I want, did you see that fan made trailer for Pokemon Legends Celebi?
I did see it.
I watched it like 4 times today.
Today only. Yeah.
I'm dead ass. I watched it
4 times in the last 5 minutes. Oh my God. It's so good.
They can't not do that now.
Yeah, like it's right there. Like, here you go. Here's a pitch.
Yeah, man.
Here's an idea. Here's the thing. Make it happen.
Man, Gen 2 needs some love, though. I will say
fucking layup.
Gen 2 was like the perfect Pokemon game. Oh man,
because it's like it's when a sequel does really well, it like takes the part 1 stuff and perfects it.
Yeah.
It's not worn out, watered down sequelitis like 10 games later. It's a true evolution. It's the passion still there.
Here's a whole new area.
Yeah.
We refined some mechanics. Here's
the
all
designs
new
are
Pokemon.
The designs are great. Like, they're inspiring. It's just really good shit.
Here's some newer legendary creatures.
Can't wait for Gen 9.
Look at this Lugia and this Oho. Look at these burbs. This Oho and Lugia or Lugia. And let me tell you.
Tell me.
When you go back to the Gen 1 area and you could catch all those Pokemon, forget it. Oh my god. Pokemon Legends Arceus, fucking phenomenal. Love that game. Love it so much. There's so much that they could improve on to make that franchise like perfection. But I don't want to play another Pokemon game that's not a Legends game. Like, I'm dead serious, full stop. I could not care any less.
But one's coming out.
Don't care.
I'm saying. All right.
Unless it has the systems that Arceus has with crafting and just chucking balls at monsters' faces. Like, that's what I want in my Pokemon. I don't want this turn-based bullshit. Well, it is turn-based, but I don't want these random battles bullshit. I don't want this having to weaken the dude to catch him nonsense. Like, oh man, I'm done with it. Speaking of done with it.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
done. You done with this?
No, but it looks like they're done with Unreal Engine 4.
Oh,
whatever
shit.
they were using before. They were using They were using their proprietary one, right? What the hell was it called? Wasn't Square using? They weren't using.
I don't know.
Anyway, new Tomb Raider was announced, officially announced. It's actually happening. It took them long enough to announce it because, like, I feel like it was obvious. Obvious announcement is obvious, but the new Tomb Raider will be developed in Unreal Engine 5, which is great news because, as you know, and listeners, if you don't know. You need to Google some Unreal Engine 5 and look at this thing in action because holy testicle Tuesday, video games are going to look real good.
Did you see that Coalition video? The Gears of War people?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Sure
yeah. Whatchamacallit is busy these days. Crystal Dynamics. They've between trying to salvage Perfect Dark and, maintaining a failed
let me tell
live
you,
service, games of service. And now this, and they just also shipped the Guardians 2, which is actually a bright spot and all that.
That is also true.
Yeah.
But that's not the only classic beloved franchise coming back into the limelight with announcements. Remedy Entertainment has slapped high fives with Rockstar, and it looks like Max Payne and Max Payne 2, the fall of Max Payne, the remakes are in development.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about that.
I'm curious, very curious, because these are remakes of what, PS2 era games?
That is correct, PS2.
So that word remake, it makes me wonder, are you giving this a full-blown next-gen remake status with cutting-edge graphics, or are you doing a
GTA trilogy?
Or what remaster. You did to Alan Wake, or what's happening now with Chrono Cross, which ain't that great looking, to be honest.
I you know what, with the Alan Wake, that doesn't scare me nearly as much as if this thing is like that GTA. What is it? The 3 San Andreas and Vice City trilogy.
I think you'd have to do a full from the ground up because you have that fart face on Max Payne.
That is correct. You do.
So you can't have that as a bonus. Maybe like, okay, it's a skin, it's a code, you unlock it, it's DLC, pre-order bonus, it's fine, but you
fart
can't.
Face.
Smell the fart face. You can't have that. Yeah. So. It's nice that do they own the rights? Does Rockstar own this? They own
Rockstar owns Max Payne. Yes. Yeah.
So I wonder how this whole thing happened. Was it like, did they go to Rockstar like, hey, we miss Max, we mix him so much, guys. Can we just do more with him, please? Can you bring back the old games? Can we?
I could see. I could peruse the press release and see if there's
or did Rockstar say, listen, we made some sweet.
Okay, here it is. Here, it says it right here.
Grand Theft Auto remakes.
Sam Houser, founder of Rockstar, says that we were thrilled when our longtime friends at Remedy approached us about remaking the original Max Payne games.
There it goes.
Yes, like, hey, we love Max Payne.
They got this from the GTA remaster. That's what that signals to me.
Yeah,
they made money.
They should make like Max Payne should be a thing. Like Max Payne, as much as you would really need to expand on that whole gameplay loop because it's really just Hotline Miami in 3D. Like that's really all it is just run around, jump, go into time stop mode and shoot. But they could take that character, that universe, and that world and make something really dark and really awesome. So maybe this is Remedy being like, can we get Max Payne in the Alan Wake verse?
Right. We haven't seen Max Payne in a thousand freaking years, dude. He's been gone.
It's been a while. It was the best. Let me tell you, Andy. $10. I bought Max Payne off my friend in high school for $10, and it was the best $10 I ever spent, ever. Lord. And it's not even close. I have spent $10 on chimichanga, burritos, Taco Bell. My Taco Bell order is $10. Let's try and get away from the Mexican or faux Mexican food. Pizza. Let's try to get away from food in general. Yeah. I don't know. Pogs, Pokemon cards.
I knew you were going to go Pokemon cards.
Max Payne, man, was the best $10 I ever spent.
You know, we really need more games with that like noir aesthetic too. We don't have a lot of those.
I mean, you do like Chicken Police. Chicken Police is all you need for that. Have you played Chicken Police?
Is all. I got the PS5 upgrade, so yeah, it's all dicks and cocks jokes. Yes, I played it, but you know, this is like the OG like noir story, like in game. Like you think noir, you think Max Payne immediately.
Yeah, listen to the words I'm saying, listeners, viewers. And our new viewers who we were rated in the middle of this show.
We were. So oh my god.
We don't necessarily acknowledge the chat too much, but we do want to thank you for coming in.
I'm not used to that. But listen, calm down.
If you've never heard of Chicken Police, just YouTube that. And if you don't love Chicken Police, I've played it. If you don't love, and I mean love Chicken Police, I will buy you a pizza. I promise you're going to love that game. It is so freaking good. Anyway, I digress. That was quite the digression. Now, Andy, we're done with the news. The news is done. We could take the news and put it away.
Done. Slam
but
dunk.
Now we have
we crushed it.
The creme de la creme. Okay?
Steven, this is going to be...
It's time to get into the hype zone, Andy. As you can see from my hat.
The big time.
Time to get hype. Everybody climb aboard the hype train. Everybody climb aboard. It is time now to get into the hype zone. It's time to get all hype. Hype zone. Hype zone. Andy,
did not approve this hype zone.
Take us into the hype zone.
Stephen, I think this is the single greatest update that's about to befall Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Okay. Yes.
Just you saying that name, my right nipple is now solid. Left nipple, not so much. I got to hear the rest of the story. Please hit me.
This is going to involve nerfing your mimic tier.
No.
Or buffing bosses. None of that.
Okay.
The Bandai Namco logo has officially made its change.
No way.
It's real.
Don't say this to me.
It is happening.
Are you serious? They really changed the logo? It's happened?
Yep.
I knew this was a rumor.
Nope. It is now official. And I'm going to read some language to explain the new logo design.
Wow.
The new logo's speech bubble motif, Fukidashi in Japanese, expresses the potential of the brand to connect with people around the world and inspire them with amazing ideas. The speech bubble also represents Japan's manga culture that has become so popular everywhere. The logo stands for determination to communicate with fans worldwide, to connect with our fans, and to create entertainment unique to Bandai Namco.
Andy, I don't know about you, bro. I'm going to have to look at your camera for this one. I am inspired. I am inspired right now.
Preach. Give me the sermon, Steven. Give me how.
First of all,
how high are you feeling right now?
I want you to look at the old one. First of all, the old one looks like
I see it.
Like the Roland Roaster. Nobody outside of New York is gonna know what that is. But this looks like Roy Rogers level, like Bandai Namco's old logo with the yellow, the red, and the orange. Just looks old. It looks like it should be wearing, what are those pants called? The corduroy. It looks like it should be wearing corduroy pants. Now we have upgraded, Andy. We have a beautiful red chat bubble. But wait, Andy, they didn't just pull this from Canva or your clip art. No. As you could see, and folks, you could find the link in the chat right now. Or
this is not Street Fighter 6.
You could Google this.
Just so we're clear.
No,
just so we're clear.
The surround, the chat bubble surround. It breaks there. You notice that? And it offsets to create a little arrow. I
think it has like an almost amateurish vibe, but I think that's what they're trying to. They're playing with you, like we don't take this seriously,
right? But but it's also edgy because you know what it reminds me of. What's the first thing you thought of when you saw this red line? What's the first thing? Because it's edgy to me. Do you want me to tell you what the first thing that came to mind?
Tell me. What was the first thing you thought of?
That little red thing on cigarettes. That little plastic red ring that you peel away. I never smoked, but I know because I worked in a store.
But you know what addiction feels like.
And you peel that little
cellophane,
you know, and it has that little break. That's what it looks like. Right. So they're clearly saying kids should smoke. Then we have the classic Bandai Namco, which I always thought Namco Bandai sounded better, but that's another conversation. Mm-hmm. It has beautiful black type font, like really good, crisp, pops out on that white background. Really enjoying that a lot.
Now, is the background white, or is it just the happen of this image? Because it could be any color. You never know. So
here's the thing. I would say that
like a chameleon, this logo.
Oh well, here's what I'm going to say. I would say that it's a white background, and here's why. Because the old Bandai Namco had white lettering, and that is also technically the background, like behind that logo. So I think it's part of the logo.
So I feel like this is also paying a tribute to their old logo. I mean, they're borrowing elements, right? I think even the reds look like they match.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Now, could we have used just a little bit of yellow and orange? Maybe in the corners, maybe the top left corner and bottom right corner, just two little stripes of red, of orange and yellow, like just to make it pop a little bit more. But you know what? I have to say, the intern that came up with this one needs a raise. Hire them full time,
or to be paid. I think this is more like a unpaid intern.
Oh, status. Maybe, yeah. Just pay them
to see someone rise to this level.
This is good. You know? This is a good logo.
This is a great logo, Steven.
Now, if you really want to know how the people feel, because we're plugged in, you understand?
So plugged.
We are a media influencer journalist with integrity, okay?
Type people, yeah.
But here's what the common people think. Peace Nutman commented, it looks bland AF. Well, Peace Nutman, you're fucking wrong, okay? Mario says, why would you replace something original for something bland? Well, go fuck yourself. Someone's getting fired over that once fans start complaining, excuse me. No one should complain. From a memorable logo to a forgotten one. And to what I say to you, shut up. It's a beautiful logo. It's one of the best logos I've ever seen.
And to think, we once had this magenta color outline on this thing, and they're like, you know what? We're not ready for that yet. That's way too creative for the masses to accept. Let's dial it back a little bit, scale down, use a nice red.
I have a question, Andy.
Go for it.
And Steven. I think, I don't know if we can make a bet on it, but do you think the Bandai Namco booth at PAX East will be old logo branded or new logo branded.
Oh my God. I feel like if we saw a new logo, my heart would stop immediately upon seeing it.
I think I would probably steal the signage.
I'm going to say new. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm going to say new.
Interesting. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Andy,
Steven,
let's tell our listeners as we get to the end of the show here. First, we're going to kick it to the chat. Chat, if you have any questions you want to ask us, please, now is the time to do so. But before we get into chat, we should let everybody know that last Friday, we had the biggest interview of our lives, and they should all check it out.
The hugest
interview. Andy, we got zero feedback from that interview. Zero.
We got more feedback hyping the interview than the interview itself did.
Yeah.
More zero folks people. Are like,
we're not going to tell you who it was
talking about.
But if you go to Dual Screens Podcast, the Dual Screens Podcast, search it. You could also go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DualScreensTV. You could find last Friday's episode with two very special guests. It's a short episode. Won't take you long. And please leave feedback. Because it was the most impressive thing. But let's talk about what we have on tap, Andy. What do we have coming up in the pipeline for the Dual Screens Podcast?
We spoke to Joseph Gribben, developer of Grapple Dog. Holy fuck, guys. That game is so cute. If you got a Switch, buy it immediately.
Yeah.
It's dirt ass cheap. It's fun. It's Sonic. It's Bionic Commando. It's Mario. It's classic platforming with a dog. With a grappling hook. Get it.
Can you pet the dog?
You are the dog.
Does it get any better than that? Does it get any better than that?
What more do you want from me?
I mean,
you are honestly, the dog.
It doesn't get any better than that. But folks, you're going to want to keep it here if you're watching on YouTube, because we are going to have lots and lots of PAX East coverage at the end of the month. So please hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers while we're at PAX. That would be fantastic. Andy, is there anything you want to tell the kids before we do our little housekeeping and say goodbye?
No, I'm excited for PAX East. It's going to be a lot of fun. After a 2-year hiatus, I'm ready to get back into it. Talk to people, schmooze and booze.
2-year hyenas?
And all that stuff. Hyenas, yes.
I love hyenas. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here at the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at dual_screens. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at PantsGuy. You could also follow us on TikTok and everything else. Just search Dual Screens. I'm sure you'll find us. Go to youtube.com/DualScreensTV if you are not already. And again, our Patreon is patreon.com/NDSPodcast. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, listeners. We didn't have any questions, by the way. That's why I just segued into it. There were no questions. But thank you all for listening. I didn't want you to think I forgot, because I did look, right. I promise. We love you guys. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. And as always, please be excellent to each other.